Thank you for viewing this webinar on creating projects with the NextGENE AutoRun Tool. NextGENE's AutoRun Tool provides a quick and easy method for setting up batch processing. AutoRun utilizes saved settings files that are used to create job files defining the sample, reference, and all settings to be used. In this webinar, we'll cover how to save your settings files, how to create job files to analyze new projects, as well as how the AutoRun tool can be used to output reports in batch for existing projects. You can access AutoRun from the NextGENE Tools menu. After opening AutoRun, first open the Settings dialog by clicking on the Settings icon. Set the job file detecting directory. This is the location where you will be saving your job files. Depending on your computer's resources, you may be able to process multiple jobs simultaneously. This can be done by increasing the max parallel jobs setting. As you increase the value, the available RAM for each job is dynamically updated. Ensure that this remains at or above 16 gigabytes of RAM. Click OK to close the settings. Any pre-processing steps such as format conversion, trimming or duplicate removal in the sequence operation tool, and/or barcode sorting can be included in the job file. You can save settings files for these steps by opening the format conversion, sequence operation, or barcode sorting tool from the NextGENE Tools menu, adjusting the settings as needed, and then clicking Save in the dialog for the tool. The main analysis settings are saved from the project wizard. This settings file will include the settings for all steps within the project wizard, including the post-processing settings. Click Save Settings anywhere in the project wizard to save this settings file. The post-processing settings include the path for the report settings files. You can save these report settings files from the NextGENE viewer. Within the NextGENE viewer, go to Reports, Mutation Report Settings to specify the mutation report settings, and then click Settings, Save to File to save the report settings file. The distribution report, coverage curve, expression report, and structural variation report can all be selected from the Reports menu. You can click Save Settings in each report's settings dialog to save the report settings file. For more information on the reports and their settings, see the NextGENE Viewer Reports webinar. You create the job files with the Job Editor tool. Click Tool on the AutoRun toolbar to open the job editor. If you will be using an already configured template that includes all of the processing settings for the samples to be run in this job, then click on Choose Template and select the appropriate template from the drop-down menu. A template is not required, but decreases the setup time and minimizes error. The following steps can be easily saved as a template for future use. Click Load to load your sample files. With AutoRun, you can load sample files for multiple samples at one time and later group them into individual jobs for each sample. You can load files in the raw FASTQ format, as the format conversion step can be included in the job. You can also load sample files in FASTA or BAM format. The output directory is set by default, but you can click Set to change this directory path and folder name as needed. If you loaded a template, then the following settings are loaded automatically and cannot be changed. If you are not working with a template, continue to specify the settings. First, you can load your saved settings files for any pre-processes. To do this, click Add. Here you can load the settings files for format conversion, barcode sorting, and/or sequence operation. You can add multiple settings files for the steps as needed. After adding the settings files, you can set the order for the pre-processing steps using the up and down buttons. Click OK to close the pre-processing steps dialog. Next, load your reference. click Select to choose a preloaded reference. Under Process and Report Settings files, click Load to browse to and select the settings from the project wizard. This settings file includes the report settings from the post-processing step. However, you can also click Edit Details to modify these settings if needed. For Geneticist Assistant users, select the Output to Geneticist Assistant checkbox to automatically output the NextGENE results to Geneticist Assistant software. You can enter the run name and modify the sample name if needed. If you didn't select a template to begin with, you can save all of the settings loaded together as a new template to quickly create jobs with the same settings in the future. Click Save next to the template field, then enter a name for the template and click OK to save. The template can then be selected from the drop-down menu when creating future jobs. If files for multiple samples were loaded, click the Group Samples into Jobs icon, or go to the Edit menu and choose Group Samples into Jobs. This will open a dialog where you can specify how to group the sample files into individual jobs. You can group the sample files based on sections of the file name, and the output folders will also be named based on these parts of the file names. Enter the sections of the file names to be used, considering the delimiters listed. The right side will show how the files will be grouped and what the job names will be, so you can confirm the grouping is correct. The job names indicate how the output folders will be named. Click OK to group the samples. After grouping, the left side shows a job tree showing all of the jobs listed by job name. Details for the selected job are shown on the right side, with the job name listed at the top. You can continue adding more jobs if needed. If you are done adding jobs, click the Save icon, or go to File, Save Job File, to save the job file in NG job format to the Job File Detecting directory as specified in the settings. Click OK to close the job editor. To begin processing the job file, click the Detect icon or go to File, Detect. You also have the option of selecting Delay Detect to begin processing the job at a specified later time. When detecting begins, AutoRun will check the specified directory for the job file. Then each job in the job file is added to the processing list. Each job is processed consecutively with the AutoRun log displaying the progress. You can also use AutoRun to automate generating reports and/or BAM files for existing projects in batch. These are considered report-only jobs. You can add report-only jobs one at a time, or you can add multiple report-only jobs at once by selecting a directory to load all of the projects in the directory and applying the same settings to all projects. For report-only jobs, you will use a settings file saved from the project wizard with only the settings from the post-processing step being applied. To add report-only jobs, open the Edit menu and select Add Report-Only Jobs or Batch Add Report-Only Jobs. Browse to select the single PJT file for a project, or to select a directory to load all PJT files within the folder. After projects have been loaded, note that the output field is automatically set to the directory containing the PJT file, and this cannot be changed. All reports will be saved to the existing output directory for the project. Any existing reports that had the same name will be overwritten. Under Process and Report Settings file, click Load to browse to and select the settings file containing the post-processing settings. Remember, you can click Edit Details if you'd like to make any changes to the post-processing settings at this point. You can also click the Apply Settings to All Jobs icon or go to Edit Apply Settings to All Jobs to load the current settings for all jobs. Click OK to confirm. Click the Save icon or go to File, Save Job File to save the job file in NG job format to the job file detecting directory and proceed to detecting the job file as described previously. Thank you for viewing this webinar on using NextGENE's AutoRun tool. We've discussed how to save your settings files to be used with the AutoRun tool and how to set up AutoRun jobs for new projects or to batch export reports for existing projects. If you have any questions, please contact us at tech_support@softgenetics.com.